Oh, snap! Thanos is in Marvel Snap with the latest update. He's one of the new cards in the game. He's in Series 5. We're going to talk about how to unlock him. How good is he? Look at some of the synergies in the game. And also, we're going to look at all the art variants available for Thanos. He's 6 energy, he's 8 stats. And at the start of the game, he's going to shuffle the 6 Infinity Stones into your deck. So you're going to start off with an 18 card deck, and these 6 Infinity Stones are all 1 energy and have different abilities, so we're going to look at them as well. Let's start off though by working out how the bloody hell you unlock this geezer. Well, one way is in the traditional way, Collector's Reserves. Series 4 and 5 cards, this is Pool 4 and Pool 5, these are being added, can be found in Collector's Reserve before Series 3 is complete. So you don't need to get all Pool 3 cards before you can get Thanos. It is possible to get him. He's a Series 5 card. So he is 100 times more rare in Collector's Reserves than Series 3 cards. That goes for all Series 5. Pool Series means the same thing. It's a bit of a bamboozler. And then he's 10 times rarer than Series 4 cards. So you can just high roll and get him just like any other card. Going to be pretty unlikely. The more likely way you're going to be getting your hands on Thanos is through the token shop. The token shop is this new edition, a way of crafting cards. I'm sure many of you know about it a lot, so we'll just breeze over it. It's going to rotate every hour, so every 8 hours there's going to be a card in there which you haven't got access to yet. If you don't have the tokens on hand, you can also pin it. You see there's a little pin button here, which is then going to keep it there. You're not going to get a new refreshed card, you're just going to keep that one. And then when you've got enough tokens, you will just be able to craft it. So these Series 3 cards cost 1,000 tokens. Series 5, however, which Thanos is, are going to cost you 6,000 tokens, and you get tokens just through progression through the Collector's Reserves and all that sort of thing. But let's really talk into the meat and potatoes about what the hell Thanos does. Now we know kind of how to get him. Let's look at all of the Infinity Stones. There's 6 of them. First up, the Mind Stone. They're all 1 energy. It's 1 stat, 1 point, and on reveal, it's going to draw 2 stones from your deck. So Mind Stone is really fantastic because you're drawing 2 cards and 1 point. If you compare this to a card like Cable, Cable is 2 energy, 2 stats, so similar stat line, 1, 1, 2, 2, very, very similar. And he's drawing you 1 card from the bottom of your opponent's deck, whereas this is drawing you a card from your own deck, specifically drawing 2 of your stones. So the assessment of this card is it's really very strong if the other stones are also good. If the other stones are bad and you don't want them in your hand, then it's not very good, right? But spoiler alert, the other stones are good. So Mind Stone is also very good. Up next, we have the Reality Stone, also 1/1. On reveal, transform this location into a new one and draw a card. Wow, this card is absolutely cracked, mate. This is a 1-cost Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is 2 energy, 3 stats. So for 1 less energy, you get 2 less stats, which is pretty much bang on curve. But you do also get to draw a card. So I would argue this is actually a better Scarlet Witch. I also think that the Scarlet Witch ability, Scarlet Witch actually in beta used to be 1 energy and 2 stats, and she was a lot better then, I think, as a 1-drop. So I think this kind of ability is, you would rather have it just costing 1. I think this card is insanely good. I would argue OP on its own, at least, in a vacuum. But of course, you cannot evaluate the stones in a vacuum. They all come as a package, and you've got an 18-card deck. 1/1 time stone on reveal. Draw a card. Next turn, you get +1 energy. Holy moly, this card is broken, dude. So this is very comparable to Psylocke. Psylocke is 2 energy and 1 point, and gives you 1 energy next turn. So this is the same amount of points for half the energy, and you draw a card. Hello, Sunshine. That's OP. Wow, the time stone's good. I also just noted here, you can play this on turn 5, which is then going to mean on turn 6 you can play Thanos for 6 energy plus a 1 energy stone, which is going to become important later down the line. Because, yeah, you do get a benefit from playing all the stones, as we'll soon see. Space Stone is 1/1. On reveal, next turn you can move 1 card at this location, draw a card. I think we have to assume that you can't can't move enemy cards with this one. There's no real mechanics in the game that will allow you to move enemy cards, and you'd have to implement some kind of daredevil timer, which seems really very clunky. So I think it's safe to assume that you're going to be able to move one of your own cards at the location you put the Space Stone. I don't think this one's very good. Compared to the others, it's certainly weak. You also are drawing a card, bear in mind. I think the card that this stands out with most, in my mind, is Storm. Because you could have the Space Stone, maybe down on turn 5. And then on turn 6, you can move a card into the Storm lane. This is going to be best played on turn 5 if you think something like New York location, where everything can be moved turn 6. That can add a lot of mind games and bamboozling and nonsense. But it's only you that's going to be able to move one card, so your opponent's going to be having all the problems. It's not going to be movement on both sides like Cloak and New York. So maybe the Space Stone is actually underrated for that surprise value. On turn 5 does look like the optimal time to play it, and definitely some nice synergy to win at Storm Lane as well. Soulstone 1/1 as well. On reveal, draw a card. Ongoing, enemy cards here have -1 power. So the Soulstone is looking very, very hot indeed. That is 5 points for 1 energy and drawing a card, which is absolutely bonkers. If you think Ant-Man is potentially 4 points for 1 energy, it's very easily disruptible. This is nuts. Also some big synergy here with Green Goblin in particular. Hobgoblin also, but I think Green Goblin is a more likely card just because of how expensive the Hobgoblin is. You can have your Soulstone down, put your Green Goblin up the other side, and suddenly you've got a -4 point spy on your opponent's side of the board. Again, it's another very good stone. Finally, last but certainly not least, the Power Stone. It's 1 energy, it's 3 stats, and it has an ongoing ability, which if you've played all 6 stone, Thanos has +10 power wherever he is. Now, I've evaluated this as 21 points for 7. Of course, on its own, in a vacuum, it's just 3 for 1. But if you want to get the full value from it, you need to play Thanos, who is 6 energy. This is 1 energy, so that's the 7. And the 21 points comes from Thanos being 8. Plus 10 on the ongoing ability, plus 3 from the Power Stone is going to be 21 points. 21 for 7 is very solid. Of course, the issue with that is it's not going to be easy to play all 6 stones every game. And Thanos, that's 7 cards out of your 18, which you're going to be needing to play. That also means that you're going to be like low on board space to some extent. So while this card is very good, I think it's more, it's not going to happen very often that you're going to get the 21 for 7. It's more likely just going to be a 3 for 1, which is just fine. That's okay. You can't actually really complain about that too much, particularly when all these other ones are drawing you cards. Of course, this one is drawing you an extra. This one is drawing you specifically stones, the Mind Stone. So ideally what you want to do with the Mind Stone as well is you want to try and hold on, draw out your other stones, because let's say you've got the Power Stone on top of your deck, and on turn 4 you then play a stone which is going to draw you the stone. Then you might end up with like a stone stuck right at the bottom of your deck, right? So in theory, what you want to do with the Mind Stone, I think it's the Mind Stone, yeah, the Mind Stone, you want to wait as long as you possibly can with this one, while also making sure you can still play Thanos. So there's lots of very big brain plays with these cards. I'm super excited. My conclusion is the 1-cost stones are really good, like unbelievably good. Even this one, which I kind of thought was bad at first, the more I thought about it as like a turn 5 play to bamboozle, I actually think they're just all really, really good. And the Thanos and Power Stone 21 for 7 is good, but unlikely to work out very often. And of course, the biggest downside of Thanos is the fact that you're making your card your deck an 18 card deck, which is going to mean a real lack of consistency. I think you're going to probably want to build your deck more with mid-range in mind than pure synergy. So let's have a look at some of the cards which you might want to play with Thanos. Lockjaw being one. Lockjaw, when you play a card here, swap it with a card in your deck. These stones have on-reveal effects. So imagine you play the Mind Stone into Lockjaw, you draw 2 stones, it goes back into your deck, and then you could draw it again down the line to draw your other stones. This is going to really help you get your big fat Thanos. Also, this is a way of cheating Thanos out, right? You could get that potentially 18 body out for very, very cheaply. So Lockjaw is an obvious one. Also important to note, with Thanos getting the +10, you don't need to have all of the stones on the board. You just need to have played all 6. Unless you have Khazar. Khazar obviously is just buffing all your stones by 1 power. Happy Days, Blue Marvel doing something similar, but Khazar just a better version of that. The Beast rather, I think this one could be very fun. Return your other cards at this location to your hand. They cost 1 less. So you could use this on 3 of your stones, and then suddenly you've got the on-reveal effects back again to draw more cards. Especially you use this on the Mind Stone, right? You play the Mind Stone, let's say it's your only stone you've got, then you just play the Beast on only the Mind... Well, then you could play the other 2 stones that you draw, then you Beast, you get your Mind Stone back, your other 2 stones, you're drawing loads of cards, your Mind Stone's already drawn you those 2, and then you're drawing 2 more, that's already 5 stones guaranteed. Beast looking really sexy. Last but certainly not least, I think it's last, we have Wong. Wong, again, you've got lots of on-reveal effects with your stones, so Wong is just going to be doubling down on your on-reveal abilities on those, so he's kind of decent, I guess. Oh, and we have Quinjet, because these stones should not start in your deck. Obviously, we can't test this, but your deck should be the 12 cards. Thanos is adding them at the start, right? So, I mean, we can look at the wording quickly at the start of the game. So, I would argue that they don't start in your deck, right? They're being added to your deck almost for sure. So Quinjet should be making these stones cost 0, which is pretty damn nice. Let's look at, finally, the art variants. There's 4 of them. We have the Pixel Thanos. We have Baby Thanos. I like this one quite a bit. So every card, I think, has a pixel and a baby art. And then these are the last 2 ones. We have Thanos in the garden. And finally, last, but definitely not least, we have the Giga Chad Thanos. Absolutely popping off. All right, guys, that is my video on Thanos. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos on this, on the new cards, let me know. Hope you enjoyed the style and the format. Sorry for the lack of uploads recently. I'm hoping to be bringing them back. Don't forget to check me out on Twitch, where I'm streaming every day. And if you did watch this far, please like the video. Thanks so much for the support. See you on the next one. Bye.